Over 20,000 people saw this video and almost everyone had a different opinion or saw something completely different.
Same script, same actors.
So what actually changed?
In this video, we're breaking down the choices behind each performance.
What was intentional, what shifted when we swapped roles,
and why the same scene can feel completely different depending on how it's played.
Because in acting, it's never just about the lines, it's about the choices that the actors made. If you haven't seen the full video with both scenes in, I'd recommend you go and watch that first. I'll leave the link in the description.
Let's break it down.
We're so good at this.
My name's Matthew Bearcroft. I'm an actor, writer, director, editor, DOP, and one of the founders and directors of Hollow Productions.
Sure. I'm Connor. I'm an actor, writer, director, and general all-round filmmaker, and I'm also one of the co-owners of Hollow Productions. We do also have a third member as well, but he's not with us at the moment. I'll put his face here. So before we get into the video, we did just want to cover something really quickly, which a few comments have already mentioned, and that was the role of the director in a scene. And yes, the director plays a hugely important part in shaping the scene and shaping the character's performance as well, and guiding the actor through the scene. And as directors ourselves as well, we can never and would never understate the importance of having a director on set in a specific project.
But as this was just an acting exercise, it was mainly just for me and Connor to experiment with our own acting and to see how a scene changes depending on the actors. We didn't actually have a director. Me and Connor were the entire crew. We filmed it, we lit it, we wrote it. As Connor said, it's not to downplay the importance of a director. So thank you for your comments, it is taken on board, but we just wanted to disclaim that there wasn't a director and we're not trying to undermine a director. Right, first of all, thank you so much for all of the engagement. Frankly, it's kind of blown us away a little bit.
Did not expect it whatsoever.
We filmed it back in December, and we were posting it as a way of saying this is what we're going to be doing. These role reversals that we thought would be a great exercise for us, and maybe a way to sort of build the channel as well. All the engagement, all the comments, and the quality of the comments, the people expressing their views, lots of intelligent people in the comments,
yeah,
lots of filmy people.
Just the breakdowns alone of the scene have kind of just blown us away. We want to do more of this now, purely because you guys have made this video so much more successful than we thought it was going to be.
So the first thing we wanted to talk about was why we did this. Why did we do this? Okay, no, sorry, I remembered why. So me and Connor both teach acting, or specifically acting for film. We were doing this script in class, and in teaching it, in directing it, it really made us realise how much you could really pull from a script, how much isn't written in the dialogue and in the directions that as an actor you can add your soul into it, you can pull a lot more out of it. So really I guess it was we just wanted to give it a go ourselves, having watched the students do it.
We had FOMO of our own script.
Yeah.
We're like, we want to do that as well now. I think that also helped create the idea of the role reversal and switching the characters out, because we both wanted to play both characters, and thus was born the role reversal.
So the script, originally we wrote a bunch of showreel scenes for a load of students to choose from. So Connor's the one that wrote it, but when we actually wrote all these scenes, we tried to keep them fairly vague and open to any gender and any type of actor, because it was open to a lot of people to choose from.
When I initially started writing it, like Matt said, we had to try and encompass a whole class full of actors of different genders and different age ranges and different styles. So I was trying to write something as open-ended as I could that would still lend itself to anyone being able to do it and it would still work. That we found, like we said, as we were teaching it, so many different things were coming up by watching all these different people of different ages, styles and genders trying to do the same characters. It really allowed us to see it for what it could truly become with a bit more exploration.
But I think that just goes to show the power that you have as actors on a page. It's your job to take it off the page and bring it to life. We don't really have a whole screenplay from it. It is just that script, that scene. So everything else that you've come up with has been from the performances, which is just brilliant. And that's the actor's job, really, to fill in the blanks and communicate everything that's not really being said as well.
All the role reversals will be like this one, just self-contained little stories that we don't really plan on taking any further. So
you never know though, if particular stories do really well.
I did think about this, yeah. I think
turn it
about,
into a film.
If one of them does really well and people are like, yeah, we want more of that. We never know. We might try and make it into an actual film, but we'll see how we go.
I wanted to talk a bit about characterization because a lot of the comments were comparing the versions of the characters. For instance, my detective versus Connor's detective. Many good comments were pointing out the importance of your casting type because we look different, we sound different, we have different sort of mannerisms and instincts. So we have a different approach and style with our acting. When I was the detective in the first scene, I did want to go for a more intimidating approach, like he knew right from the start, and it was about trying to trip him up, trying to intimidate him and sort of catch him out. I didn't know Connor was going to do a stutter until he sort of tried it on the day. We didn't really do a rehearsal, we just kind of did it.
There's a strange kind of like synchronicity about how we'd gone about making our characters. The stutter is an example, which I think is very much the Marmite of this shoot. People either loved it or hated it. It was either a really good choice or it was a bit too much and a bit too kind of acted. Personally, I still stand by it because I was actively trying to make a bit of a bold choice as an actor. I think it was something I wanted to just try out and see if it worked. But I hadn't mentioned anything to you beforehand about doing it and almost wanted to sort of see how it would affect the performance slightly. And as you would with like a normal role as an actor, you do the majority of your homework by yourself and then you kind of bring what you have to the shoot. So it was really interesting to see how you'd gone for the really intimidating detective style and I'd obviously gone for that initially quite sort of like meek, bit of a wet blanket kind of character that was really stuttery and seemed really nervous and was trying to put on the facade and the mask that he hadn't done it, but then as soon as your character had that moment of catching him out and my character realised that, oh, he's got me, there was, as a lot of people did mention, it was that mask off moment and the reveal of who he really was without the stutter, and it was all just an act. So I feel like it actually worked out perfectly.
I think the first one plays more into a more conventional style where you've got this unassuming suspect. It's stylized, it's slightly James Bond with the glasses coming off and then but some people really loved that. They were like, oh, Chef's Kiss, that's really cool. And other people were like, oh, it was a bit on the nose for me.
Which either way we can see as well, because that's the beauty of this, is there is no right answer. It is completely just down to interpretation. From the actor's point of view and from your point of view as well, it is just purely down to interpretation and your preferences.
And then obviously the second scene, different dynamic. Many people pointed out the difference in our demeanour and size, for instance. So when you've got a kind of slightly more intimidating suspect, how does that change the interrogator's approach, the interviewer's approach? And that was quite interesting. And I wanted to play that character more arrogant, kind of charming. Going into it, he thinks he can talk his way out of it, he can charm his way out of it. And just play it all off. He's very much a psychopath that doesn't really have any remorse. Probably will follow the detective home.
And kill him. Right. I think there was a lot of people as well that were saying like, yeah, your suspect was a lot more. He definitely did it from the kind of get-go sort of thing.
Yeah, some people suggested that your character didn't actually do it.
Yeah, which again was fascinating to see people thinking that maybe he didn't actually do it, and it was like it was all just a misunderstanding, which I hadn't even thought of. But then I could also, when I was reading it, was like, yeah, we can definitely see that. But going back to the second one with the detective, the way that I chose to go about it was he was trying to initially be friendly, drop your guard, be very kind of banterful, and not come across as threatening as a tactic, so that then when it gets to the point whereby I'm like, I'm actually onto you, the switch again was a lot more kind of obvious, and it is actually then revealed that my guy is like, yeah, I know, I do know that something else is going on, and I don't trust you at all. And I feel like, again, the choices that we made accentuated each other's performances, because then when you get to the end and you realise that, you know, something clearly is going on between your character and the person who's dead, that moment then just gave your, especially the outburst at the end with the chair throw, so much more validity to it.
Yeah, but I feel like it needed an outburst for that character. He couldn't contain his rage anymore. Yeah, the sip as well.
I didn't think you were going to wait for me.
So one of our favourite comments was that they look like real people. And I think as actors, that's just what you want to be striving for, playing a real, living, breathing character. And as some people pointed out, some of that's down to our looks, my broken nose, for example, as many people have pointed out.
Okay, I feel like we need to cover this. Is your nose actually broken?
I don't know. Yes, I guess. It's
You wouldn't notice it in normal life because it doesn't look that way, but because of where the light was,
Yeah.
I think it just looked way more like southbound than anything else.
I mean, it's fair to say it's broken, I think, but it doesn't cause me any issues. Some of the comments made me laugh. It was like,
don't tend to bruise easily.
says the guy with the clearly broken nose.
So as Matt said, we were the only ones really there doing this. It was only Matt and I who were filming it. We had our little setup with the microphone where we had it on a C-stand with this little hook that would just connect over to the top. We had one light just over the top, so it was nice and easy. It was down to us to frame it, make sure that it was in focus. There were points as well in the close-ups for each side where the actor would have to pick a point so that their eye line still matched, while the actual person who was saying their lines was manning the camera doing the focus. So it was very much completely all down to us when it came to the actual filming side of things. There was nobody else. It was the barest of bare bones crew for this. And when it came down to the edit as well, we both had a scene each, which is why, as a lot of people have mentioned as well in the comments, that the edits do feel very different because they were edited by two completely different people. Matt took the first version where I was the suspect and he was the detective, and I loved what you did with that because it was so stylized. It was so like very Prisoners-esque, almost like noir-y kind of like vibe. I took the second one. I was aiming more for that kind of sort of like Line of Duty kind of vibe, that sort of kind of like more TV drama-esque kind of Welcome to the Punch. It's a very niche reference kind of style.
A lot of the people in the comments were commenting on how the lighting was different, or the styles were different in the different scenes. But obviously, as Connor said, we were the only people there. So that was creative choices in the edit. You did quite a different colour grade to what I did in the edit, and then I had the music all the way through, and you brought it in later on. Stylistically, yeah, it was kind of, it was just our own opinion. We were just sort of seeing what happened. We were kind of letting our instincts take over from an acting perspective and from filming and editing perspective. Again, we cannot understate the importance of every role. We just happen to be very specific filmmaker / actors that enjoy doing all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I feel like we can cover both confidently, and also
it was an experiment.
Yeah,
it
was an experiment.
Yeah, obviously we make films with crew and cast and all that, but this was just an experiment initially, just for me and Connor. It was all down to our instincts on the day. We didn't have external influence. It was very much on the performer. So some people were a little bit confused about what we meant when we said we didn't plan what we were going to do. But what all that means really is that we didn't rehearse beforehand, and we didn't discuss what each other were going to do character-wise. I mean, normally you would maybe have a discussion beforehand, maybe a rehearsal, but it's not that uncommon to not have that discussion. We just really wanted to keep it fluid and see how we responded on the day in character. It just meant that we didn't have to plan every single moment. We had a rough kind of plan character-wise and what we wanted to get out of the scene, but from that point on it was really just
happened in the scene.
Seeing what happened. And again, this was an experiment, so it was very much also just to sometimes see what happens if you don't say your line for like 20 seconds and see how that makes the other character squirm.
Yeah, and also it allowed you as well as an actor to have a lot more freedom when you were having those moments to really fill in the silences and make the silences just as full as the lines were as well, because we didn't know what was going to be going on, so it was very much just about, as it is normally, you know, on a set, it was just very much about being reciprocity, being receiving the other person's choices and going with what's happening in the moment, rather than, like you said, just pre-planning every single second. Is a way of doing it, but I don't think that's how we as actors typically choose to do things. Again, there's no right or wrong way, but that was just how we chose to do it, and I think that just lent itself more to being open and experimental with where we went with it.
So thank you once again for all the comments. We really are humbled by the array of takes and insights and just thoughts from everyone. It's really interesting. There was a comment that was just talking about how we tucked in a chair.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
Yeah, that was a great comment as well.
So what's next? We would really love to continue doing these. We wanted to continue doing these anyway, just to keep us acting. A lot of, as many actors will know, life as an actor is spent not acting. It's spent trying to survive and audition and self-tape, and rarely do you actually get on set and make your own stuff. And we really want to utilise YouTube, make stuff for us but make stuff for you, and really just bridge that gap. Using YouTube means that we can still write, we can still direct and shoot and edit and do all the filmmaking stuff that we love, but it also means that we can act and do the roles that we want to do. And the fact that people are so on board with this as a concept and have enjoyed this first take means that we should be able to keep doing it and take people's thoughts and ideas on board and make this a regular, consistent thing that we'd like to do more of.
So it means a hell of a lot to see how much support this gained just from one video. And when it first went up, I think we just assumed it was going to sit at like a couple hundred views, and that was kind of it. And then it just started coming in, and you guys just came out of nowhere. So it's really lovely to see all of you being so engaged and so thoughtful, and so interested in what it was that was initially just a random idea that we came up with, and now we genuinely want to turn it into a full series that we want to keep going with and explore more. So immediately after this video now, we already have some scenes written that we want to do next. We already have some other actors that we want to bring on board as well. We already have things that we are very much planning on doing in the future, like other films, other series that we want to do. But as of right now, we have a few other scenes we're going to hopefully be filming in the next couple of weeks, I'd say, maybe.
We want to do this. We enjoy this. This is what we love to do. We'd be doing it all the time if we could. We'll try and do something in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated. And until then, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video as well, and keep your eyes peeled because there will be another one coming soon.
Fucking hell, I've used an entire SD card up.
Wow. Should we stop the other one? Should I stop the other one? I'm gonna stop the other one. How do I stop the other one?